All right, welcome to the cock ring. On today, we have some more Delta Green thrown out because I like it more than Call of Cthulhu, but the DG ring doesn't sound as good. This is a scenario that's available on Drive-Thru RPG called Reverberations, and it's all about a 90s drug that has reintegrated itself into the system. We have 4 brave players. I'm not sure if they have YouTube channels. You did ask, but if they want to, at the end, if they make it, to throw out a commercial, I'm cool with that. I know Ian will want to throw out the OSG because this game is led through the tabletop RPG one-shot group. I think that covers everything.
Proud supporters of the cock ring.
Yes. Now,
I'm sorry.
Now, each of your agents, through a text message, through an email, through some sort of communication, have received a little commercial ticket or coupon. It's from La Dolce Bakery, the best donuts in Chicago. And at 4:35 tomorrow morning, they have a special where you can get 12 for $5. So each one of your character is going to receive this message and then explain how they're going to make their exit to get into this game. Ian, since you've played a few times with me, will you start?
Yeah, sure, why not? So Professor James Palmer is supposed to be orating for a class anyway in the University of Chicago when he gets the message, and he has to go to a phone and actually no, he'll just go straight to an office actually to try to con them into basically getting another professor within the school to read his speech, because he's got to go take an emergency meeting or take an emergency call basically for a possible discovery in Eastern China. Right now he's wearing just like a navy suit with probably a blue tie.
Great. Jackson, you good to go?
I'm good to go. All right, so on one of the Great Lakes, there's a small passenger boat, and there would be 3 drug smugglers tied up and gagged with heavy chains wrapped around their necks, and they're kneeling down, facing towards the edge of the boat, just a few, like 1 or 2 feet separating them from a cold, watery grave. And from the bottom of the boat emerges this tall, well-built, heavily tattooed, heavily scarred woman. And in her hand, she carries this massive baseball bat. And she just casually walks up to these 3 guys. And, these guys are like, afraid and whimpering a little bit. And they just hear her big, heavy footsteps behind them. Just do, do, do. And one by one, she places her baseball bat on each of their shoulders. And she would say, as she's doing this, "So, I heard we have a little bit of a rat on our hands. You know what the sailors in Quebec used to do to rats on board their ships? They used to eat away at their goods that they would carry on board the ships. They would bash them over the head, but not too hard to kill them. No. Bash them on the head, then throw them into the cold, cold water with rocks tied around their necks, so they would drown like the vermin they are. Now, I'm not saying I have to do this to any of the 3 of you, but I think I might be able to restrain myself from my great Quebecois heritage if one of you were to tell me who was the one who is the rat. I'll give you to the Count of Troyes. Oh? And these guys just keep shaking and whimpering. Duh! She raises her baseball bat and just starts eyeing which ones he's going to wipe out first. Troyes! See, and her cell phone goes off in her pocket. And her face of excitement just kind of goes down her phone. She's like, what is this? Ah, man. It appears that I won't be picking out one rat of the three of you. I have other business to attend to. I guess I'll have to do all three of you. And bang! 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 Thud! 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 Psh, psh, psh. All three of them go into the water. And she turns to the captain of the boat and says, "We must go. I have to go to Chicago now. No questions asked." And she just leans her now bloody baseball bat on her shoulder and goes back down, and just sighs. C'est la vie.
All right, I think you proved that 10% history check with your great history of exterminators from Canadian provinces. D?
I was going to say, you sure that she's not a Dalek?
If she was a doll, she'd hold the baseball bat in front of her nose and swing it away.
That'd be cool. Okay. Cassie is sat at a desk in the NCIS New Orleans office when her phone goes. She goes, takes the message and grabs the gear. And on her way out, she turns to Pride and says, "Boss, got something really important I've got to take care of. I'll get back to you within a few days. Sorry about this. My dog's been found up in Chicago. So I'm gonna have to go and get her." So she leaves the office and drives to the airport to get a direct flight. Obviously, flashing her NCIS ID to get on a flight.
Awesome. Already covered rat and a dog. And Joe?
Well, Agent Harvey is working in with the Joint Federal State Organization Unite in Kentucky to deal with, since he's a DEA agent, he's dealing with the prescription drug and opiate problem in rural Appalachia. He's made for dealing with drug issues at this point, having about 20 years in the DEA working right now. So it's, a good cover in Chicago, but it doesn't help him get out of his current assignment in the mountains. But what he does manage to do, since they're working on a rather long-term investigation, shutting down pill mill doctors who just keep writing prescriptions and handing out OxyContins. He puts in for a long weekend, but he uses the excuse that he's going to Chicago because his brother is ill. His brother's not ill, but his brother is in Chicago. So I'll just basically drive 2 hours and catch a commercial flight out of Lexington, Kentucky into preferably O'Hare. He does manage to call ahead and use his DEA credentials so he can take his on the plane with him. But other than that, he's caught just as short as everyone else, and he will arrive in Chicago it'll be early the next morning on a red-eye flight. And he will definitely be giving the red-eye flight as he will be bleary-eyed, but ready to go probably by about 4 a.m. the next day.
Awesome. We'll cut forward to this next day. It's just after 4 a.m. All of you are in Chicago and have began making your way. Even though our professor, Palmer, is the closest, he very quickly leaves the campus of the beautiful University of Chicago, leaves the tourist site, Wrigley Field, and he begins entering the more dangerous inner city part of Chicago. Perhaps once you got lost and you drifted into this part of town and very quickly realized that you don't exactly fit in. But about 4:20 or 4:30, all of you finally reach a little tiny shopping center. Out of the 4 or 5 shops that are in here, there's only a single dry cleaner that's still open. All the other shops have garage doors. The metal doors have been pulled down over the doors. It looks like they haven't been opened in a dozen years or so, and that includes this bakery. Since it's early in the morning, besides the dry cleaning crew with the lights on, no one else is around. And when you arrive, you'll notice that this door is shut, and there's a 4-digit padlock keeping this door locked. But I'll let y'all take it from here.
So when Julie would show up, like she'd be wearing like a jean jacket too, because she has a backpack with her stuff in it, and she's like, I don't listen to like underground Quebecois like metal right on their iPod and whatnot. So she would stroll up and see the other three and say to them, Delta Green? Oui? Just waiting for a response from the other 3
Yeah.
people.
Cass will look up and offer Jody a strong mug of coffee and say, "We," in a New Orleans accent.
Parlez-vous un peu de français?
Yeah, a little bit.
Très bien. Let's see. And she would take the coffee and drink it. Then she would just with her hand on her hip look around to the other two.
Agent Harvey nods and says, "You ready?" And if nobody gives him an objection, he enters the code 1245 in the padlock.
And it doesn't open.
The padlock, even though the outside of it does look rusty and aged, it does pop open, seeing that it does get some use every now and then. And you're able to, not so quietly, slide up this big security door. And as you open the door, you'll see a bakery that looks pretty deserted. But in one of the proofing rooms where donuts used to rise, you'll see a light on and the very end of a big mahogany briefing table.
Okay, and Cass will enter and approach the table.
John draws his main 9mm sidearm just at the ready, because
Yeah.
steps to the doors, the opening.
Yeah. Cass will also draw her .357 revolver ready as well.
James is kind of standing at the back, kind of nervously, thinking, man, why did I wear a suit?
And Joel would just stroll in very casually, just in sharp contrast to everyone else's more prepared caution as he's meanders up to the table.
Yeah. As you make your way in this table, you'll see a black male about in his late 30s wearing just a black wife beater and some jeans. At first, not looking at all like he belongs. But as he kind of turns around to see who's entered, you'll see that there's a couple folders in his hand, and around his neck, he's wearing some FBI decal. But especially the DEA agent can tell that he's some type of narcotics undercover person on top of being your handler for this mission. And instead of offering you too much of a welcome, he'll just look in your direction and say, "You can be seated."
Okay, Cass goes and puts her revolver away and takes a seat.
Yeah. He'll hand a big folder, a lot of graphs, a lot of written work that not many people besides the professor might find interesting. But he'll give you a quick briefing that in the 1990s, there was a drug called Reverb. It was spread through the Chicago Tcho-Tcho gangs. And these street gangs, during a mafia crackdown in the early 2000s, most of them were shut down of all their drug supply. However, recently, this drug has been found on the streets again. Perhaps a stash that Delta Green wasn't able to recover has been found. He'll also let you know that they have tracked down quite a few of the dealers. However, many of them have disappeared before they've ever reached them, and the connections were a little bit too strange for the DEA and the FBI. So luckily, Delta Green was able to step in and catch this case before too much of this disappearance had spread. Your mission are basically to confirm whether this new drug Reverb is the same danger as the one that hit the streets earlier. He'll also let you know that I think it's Tcho-Tchos in the area are dangerous and do not trust them. As he looks around the room, he'll also say that this has kind of been thrown together in the past few hours, which describes your very quick calling. We don't have many people back in the office working, so you're going to need to count on your own connections for any test and any records that you would like. But as you know, even if you receive help, no one is to know why you are really here. And after he goes through some of these briefings, he'll look around to see if anyone has any questions.
We're supposed to see if this drug called Reverb is the same that was out in the 90s. Have we had any confirmation? I know that it might not be exactly the same, but does do the agents involved? I mean, the I guess legitimate agents involved, since he's here under the guise of an authentic, above board investigation. What's his gut tell him? Do we have? I mean, does he think it's the same thing, or does he not know?
He'll say, back in the 90s, this was caught pretty early. There were certain unnatural effects that were found. However, in today's drug scene, it appears that the new reverb might be even more dangerous. And kind of knowing your background, he'll say, around here, it's pretty common for some of our dealers to cut drugs with other drugs. And whatever mixture they've made appears to be even more dangerous. There's always dealers who have been killed and who have been cut off or just disappear. But the lack of gang violence so far in the area kind of causes me to believe that these disappearances might deal with this new mix of drugs that they found.
Do you have a chemical breakdown? Such and so on and so forth?
Yes.
Any idea on where it started?
As far as the breakdown, Delta Green was able to steal some chemical information from DEA. This came across so suddenly, they were able to get that paperwork. However, he can set up a drop-off in one of the Chicago parks that can get you the chemistry makeup of the drug if you require that. As far as where it's from, these Tcho-Tcho, Tcho-Tcho, these are Far Eastern immigrant people. Since they're the ones that started the drug in the 90s, it probably has some tie to the Far East. And on top of that, in a second, once our DA agent gets back, we'll do a little bit more on that. Any other questions?
What are the effects of this drug?
Yeah. And okay, well, so far, the effect of the drug itself has been compared somewhat to acid trip, but if the dealers are disappearing because of experience, it could be much worse. There aren't many cases since this ended so quickly. However, we've been sifting through some hospital records and some police reports, and there are a couple of people who we have found with a strange high. However, they didn't meet test for any type of drug. And he'll give you two names. One is Ella Smith. And the address he will give you is actually a dormitory on University of Chicago. He'll give you another name, which is Damian Lucas. And the address he gives you is a homeless shelter.
Okay. Do we have electronic warrants? Because they're going to be a pain in the ass if we go onto campus without a warrant.
He'll
Sorry, what was the name of the guy at the homeless shelter again? Apologies.
Damian Lucas.
Cool.
He'll say it could be a problem unless you have someone who might be able to get on a little more easily, and he'll kind of nod toward the professor. And he says, while I have you here, look at the professor, perhaps I should let you know about this area. We don't exactly have a country club. Gangs in this area own the streets just as much as we do. And they won't be too happy if they see what they believe to be police presence or middle-aged men walking around in a couple $100 suits. Perhaps
Yes,
you
Professor.
go more low-key. And almost as soon as you correct the professor, he'll look over at Cassie and Jody, and he'll say, this also isn't like the Middle East, and we do have rules here. The last thing we need is another Ferguson situation. Race riots are already at a high. The last thing we can have is a violent activity that will cause a big group of people to be thrown into the middle of this investigation. Low key will be the key that cracks the case. Do you understand?
I understand.
Cassie nods and takes a sip of her coffee.
Joy would shrug and be like, eh. And then beneath her breath in French, she would say something, not something derogatory, it's like something that would sound pleasant in French, but
Murdered.
kind of be like telling him off or something.
Or zoot.
And she would also take a drink of her coffee, and she would just chug the whole thing at this point, and start playing with the empty cup.
All right. Do you have any more questions, Professor? Or any questions?
How much is this drug going for? I'm just wondering. You have to know who might be willing to buy it based on the price.
Yeah.
It's relevant to the investigation.
Okay.
So what we could do is then pretend that you're one of these new buyers.
Exactement.
Yeah. Delta Green typically gives you enough cash to handle important things. You might need to come out of your own pocket and be reimbursed when things come back up. But he will say, if you can get in a hold with one of the dealers, and he'll give you names of 2 dealers that they know of. One is named Rufus Brown, and the other one is named Lucian Riggs. And these 2 dealers have been known to carry some of this product. He said, once again, finding these dealers and getting your hand on the drug could be very useful. I'm not sure if you could do first-hand experience to see its effects.
Okay, and what are the effects?
He said, you can ask the users, but we find it a very high energy drug with a very big crash. It's been very big around the party scene, just for that reason. Now, as far as this Tcho-Tcho group, I need everyone on your sheet to add your percentage of anthropology and history together and tell me what number you get.
Ooh. Did you say anthropology and archaeology?
History.
Oh, history, sorry. 80% for me.
Add them both together.
No, 70 plus 10.
All right, so, all right.
10 for me.
10 for me as
10,
right.
10 for me as well.
All right, so the majority of you, Tcho-Tcho just sounds like like Eastern Far Eastern gang. What our anthropology professor will know is that Tcho-Tchos are most often found in Malaysia and mainland Southeast Asia. Vietnamese Tcho-Tchos were U.S. allies in the Vietnamese War, and many of them immigrated to the United States after suffering terribly as a consequence. They're also known as Tcho-Tcho, Yunchi, Chow-Chows, and Tchoans. They have been subject to deep prejudice and persecution among the other Southeast Asian immigrants, thanks to an odd religion that involved ritual sacrifice and self-mutilation. A well-funded advocacy group called the Tcho-Tcho American Advocacy Alliance struggles to protect the Tcho-Tcho's reputation and improve their social, political, and economic standing. Their names follow Malay, Vietnamese, Cambodian, and Chinese linguistic traditions. The Tcho-Tcho language is known very little outside their own community. And French missionaries in Indonesia described the Tcho-Tchos as a withdrawn tribespeople who at first seemed friendly, but who showed a propensity for sudden ambush and violence to the Chinese. They were Yuchi, which means those with the knife smile, and they were shunned as cannibals. Does anyone have unnatural 15 or higher?
Unnatural.
No.
All right.
Nope.
No.
So,
But I do have Tcho-Tcho as one of my languages.
great.
Let me just erase Chinese here. Hold on.
Yeah, well, like I said,
I'm just kidding.
it's based on the Chinese language, so you'll be able to understand bits. All of that is what the professor would be able to know and share with you. Also, you seem to remember a paper, and so I'll send you a link to this paper, and also, let's see if I can screen share it.
I have a question for my handler then. Just want to ask him then, what do we know about local Tcho-Tcho populations, and if there's any kind of like large, communities full of them, or etc. So, what neighborhoods is that?
He'll let you know that in Little China, there is a group of Tcho-Tcho. A couple businesses are owned by them. There is a grocery and restaurant store, a tea shop that is both owned by some first generation Tcho-Tcho people. However, with this being politically correct days, you'll also be keenly aware that they do work very hard along with this CAAA agency not to have them linked with some of the far out ritual religion practice that they had, decades ago.
Okay, good to know.
But that is one thing, and Ian, I'm going to send 2 documents to you directly. All right. Honestly, one big thing about Delta Green is having a team that asks good questions so that I can answer, give you information, and not have to find my own way. So you guys have been really good with these questions. Do you have any more questions? All right.
How much would a single use cost on the street?
He'll say either they make you pay, upwards of 300, even in some cases closer to $800 for a single use. Or in Damien's case, since he was, since he's homeless, he was probably doing something else for the dealer to get that money. So.
Okay, Professor, you and I want to go to the university dorm.
Splitting the party already. Love it.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
Yeah, the ties that you guys have, I'll go over them all again. The two users,
Oh, do we also have photos of the two users?
Yeah, he can give you photos. You can take that route. You have the names of two of the dealers that they know of. The DEA or one of your other people might have contacts that can help get more information if you go that way. And also, if you want to set up a drop of the analysis in the chemical breakup, then that would all work.
That was two aspects I was wanting to explore, was trying to use my DEA connections in Chicago to see if anyone, either with the DEA or even Chicago PD, had heard of Brown or Riggs or had any information on them, and also to see if anyone locally had any more information on the drug itself.
You can. Before you leave, I want everyone to give me a luck roll. This is just a D100 roll, and you want to roll under 50.
I rolled a 28.
All right.
I have to roll under what?
50.
50 on the nose.
All right. Did anyone not get under 50? All right. So everybody passed.
I got 95.
Oh, you got 95?
Yeah.
How did you arrive to this place?
How did I arrive to this place?
Yeah. What type of rental car did you have?
I don't take rental cars. I probably just took the bus to one of the nearest bus stops and walked over.
Nice. Did our DEA agent pass? Or did he fail?
I got a 3.
All right. So everybody passed. All right. That's good to know. All right. So you all leave. He kind of rushes you out to get out of here before the sun really comes up. So there's not too much question about why all of you are inside of a closed bakery.
Is there any ammo stores in here?
I mean, it's America, so yes.
As in, I can open a drawer and take out some extra ammo.
Oh no, this is a bakery. If you
proper bakery. Right.
I take a donut.
This place has been operational since about the 80s.
You'd have to fight the rats for them.
Yeah.
Oh,
this place is closed, clean up. He suggests that you go to the gas station up the street. Well, actually, about 8 exits up the street if you want a donut.
I would do that. Like a gas station donut.
Or speak to Homer Simpson, see if he can give you some.
So
you're in Illinois.
Just to see how quick we can get John Harvey his information, roll a bureaucracy for me.
Okay. I got a 16.
All right. So I'm guessing that passed.
Yeah, I got a 40
All
in bureaucracy. So
Yeah. So you are able to get that call, and do you tell them that this has to do with the mountains, or what do you tell your data person in order to let them know that you need this information without spoiling what you're really doing?
I imply that we're concerned about it with the Unite operation in Appalachia.
All right.
So I keep it vague so that if they end up getting back to my legitimate supervisor, there's no there, so to speak, you know.
Yeah. Just so I don't keep up with this in the time frame, you'll put in the information, and in an hour or two, you'll get a call back or a fax back, however, or email saying that it's strange that this Rufus Brown person has been involved in this case, because recently he was arrested and he's in a precinct in Chicago right now. He was arrested just last night. So you know Rufus Brown is in the Chicago precinct holding cell.
Okay.
Yeah. And they wonder what he was doing in Chicago and in the Appalachians, but not enough that they're on your case. So while you're waiting for this information to get back, and that bureaucracy role will also let the precinct be contacted so that the DEA can talk to this person.
Okay.
All right. So while you're waiting an hour or two, is there something else that y'all would like to do? You have one more dealer on the street. You have the couple users you can track down.
The dorm will probably be closed unless yeah.
Where's the shelter? We are, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go to the girls' dorm at like 5 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Yeah,
That's a good call. That's a good call.
I don't think that would be good, would it?
I suppose what I could do though is I could head back to the university, because I'm, I feel like I need to change suits. But no, I can take a shower, have some breakfast, figure out which dorm Alice Smith lives in, and that way I can prepare to. In fact, I can even see what her class schedule is like.
Great.
Try to help determine a best time to actually go and catch her at her dorm.
Yeah. The other thing I've got to mention is you can go to like little Tcho-Tcho, whatever they call the area, at some point. But once again, this is early in the morning. The homeless shelter is probably pretty close to where you are, and you do know that they typically make people wake up early. So, a couple of you can head there if you'd like.
Yeah, I would like to head by the shelter while I'm waiting for the Chicago police to get back to us.
I would also head over there.
See if Damian Lucas is familiar with either Brown or Riggs.
What will Cassie be doing? Will you head to the shelter or?
Would the professor want me to come and help him lean on Ella when she's awake?
Well, I was hoping we weren't going to have to lean on her too heavily. I looked you up and down.
Maybe having a female, not just a older man, to visit the college girl.
No, I can understand that all right.
Okay, I'll go with the professor.
We'll just take it easy though on her, all right?
All right. We'll go ahead and jump.
Pulls out her revolver, opens the chamber, spins the chamber around, Yeah, no problem.
Yep.
So, yeah, no problem.
So Professor and Cassie will go ahead. Professor Ash, you kind of walk out. There's enough light out that your car is causing some interest in the street. So you very quickly get that car moved.
It's mine or the professor?
The professor. I don't know what the professor would drive. However, the other two of you will get to the homeless shelter. You'll see that this is a about 4-story brick building. Looks kind of like a YMCA. And as you walk in, you'll see a couple of people clean the lobby. A lady, the name on her name tag reads Betty. You can tell she's a very Christian lady because her desk is filled with crosses. And she'll stand up seeing Harvey along with Jody. And she'll say, I'm sorry, but this is the men's shelter, not the women's shelter. You'll have to go up the street.
John Harvey speaks politely, very, very typically federal agent-y, and pulls out his DEA credentials and says, "I'm sorry, ma'am. We're actually here on official DEA business."
Oh, well, I'm sorry. We don't typically allow anyone to come back without a warrant.
Oh, we're not. Nobody here. We're not investigating anyone here for criminal activity. We're hoping that someone is here and he's okay. We're not looking to make an arrest or anything like that. We're just following up on some leads and hoping that he can help us keep other people from potentially, having to come here or worse.
Well, what is the name of the young man you are looking for?
Well, we're looking to see. We hope he's here and okay. Do you have anyone here by the name of Damian Lucas?
She'll sit down in her 1998 Windows and begin typing, and you'll see her eyes kind of get big. Oh, Damien. Well, he just got out of our rehab program, so I can assure you that he's doing great. He found the Lord, he did. However, I can let you go by and see him, and she gives you the kind of quarters that he's in, saying, we can't allow you to go into the room, but we can make sure that he's awake and can meet you in one of our family meeting rooms.
That would be fine. Thank you, ma'am.
So after a while, you'll see this very scrawny white fellow walk the room, immediately just eyeing him up. You can tell that he knows his way around the drug bar. His mouth and lips show some meth use. You can tell that his arms have been shut up at some point, but he's walking around carrying a big smile, definitely, making it look like he is a changed boy. What are your psychology ratings? Jody and John, what's your psychology percent?
Mine is 10.
All right.
10 as well.
10. All right. Yeah. So you see this guy, and he looks clean, but
well, I don't know if this will affect it, but I also have a human score.
Oh yeah,
of 60.
Oh yeah, human is psychology in this game. Yeah, sorry,
right.
I went cock. Yeah, human. Yeah, you've
Sorry.
seen this 100 times. One of the reason why you kind of roll your eyes at these religious organizations, it's really easy for people to like fake a big conversion and then keep up with the habit without someone looking back. And you can tell that it looks like this guy's just putting on a show for these Christian women and gentlemen.
So he is so he's in the waiting room, or in the room. We can go in there and talk to him now. Or,
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go in and chat with Mr. Lucas and see if he knows anything that we might need.
And if he doesn't know, I just turn to the DA agent. I give this smile.
Not here.
Oh,
Did you leave your baseball bat in the car, or?
Well, no, baseball bat is. I've taken the barbed wire out, and I just put it in my backpack. It's a big backpack. The bat fits all the way in there, even though the bat's like huge.
I'm feeling like if you're wielding a weapon, your rolls might be at -20.
Well,
You tell us, or we'll beat you with a fucking bat.
We're not doing anything to him here.
I'm not the bat. I'm not stupid. I'm just stupid.
I remind Jody that I'm actually here kind of sort of under my official identity. Not really, but sort of. So try to act like an undercover DEA agent.
But do you not think I am the most authentic looking dealer of the less than legal substances? I'll just kind of stretch my arms out and be like, aren't I like the real damn thing right now? I mean,
The real deal.
The real deal. The real dealer.
Not with a 32-inch little slugger sticking out of the backpack.
Her name is Ace, and she's a companion from Doctor Who.
Yeah. If you drop the ECW card, if you have a baseball bat in your pants, he's not going to be happy to see you. But you both walk in,
okay,
and you can tell that he is a little bit intimidated because Harvey's going to have the government look that all government agents have. However, maybe not being that familiar with females recently, you'll definitely get his attention.
Salute.
So we go into the room, and I'll say, Damian Lucas, and hold out my hand to shake his.
And you'll say, "Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. God bless you." And he'll shake your hand.
Yes, good morning. Do you mind if we ask you a couple of questions?
He says, not at all." And he lets you sit down in the chair.
Okay.
He'll sit down across from you, still kind of holding his Bible in his lap. He'll kiss the hand of Jody.
Of course he will.
I just look at him and just pull my hand back and cross my arms, and I will, like Riker style, step over a chair, sit down, and just back. Give him just stare at him.
I thought you would be doing the Abby Chase.
No, that's what he's doing on the inside. But
well, I'll much more conventionally pull out a chair and sit down across from Damien and say, we've heard you've made some significant changes in your life recently.
It's not I, but it's Christ who lives in me.
So you managed to clean up a little bit from what we've heard.
Yes, sir. Jesus Christ is the only high I need now.
That's excellent. So you feel that the rehabilitation program here at the shelter has helped you a lot, along with your newfound faith, of course.
Yes. I have a bed to sleep at night, and they take it away if I'm not clean.
So,
But more importantly, I have a home in heaven.
so do you think you might be able to help us help some other people who can potentially follow in your footsteps?
Sure, that sounds like a mighty Christian thing that I could do.
That's excellent. So, and at this point, I'll take out the good old standard notepad, and which seems archaic, but the charge never runs down. So start taking some notes and say, so you first come to the shelter here. How did you get here?
He goes, well, I was in a really low place, and I was even in the hospital. And when the police caught me, they said I have two choices: either go to prison or rehabilitation. And so I chose this nice place.
That's excellent. Sounds like you made the right decision. So how did you get in that low place?
Mm-hmm. He said, drugs, those pesky demons.
Oh yeah. So what did you do? What was your downfall? Because I know some people that it's just, some people can't handle drink. Some people end up on harder stuff. Some people gamble. What was it for you? What was your albatross?
Well, I started with marijuana, but that was just a gateway drug. Sorry, that was a joke. He'll go through mainly, the dope. He'll go through dope meth, even a little bit of heroin, but he won't mention anything about Reverb.
Okay. Well, what we're trying to do, Damien, is attempt to stem the flow of these poisons that are just crippling the streets and ruining in so many lives. Who was your main connection? Have you already told? Maybe I don't know. I'm just catching up here. Have you already relayed this to the Chicago authorities, or what do you think we should do to try to help people to prevent them from coming here? Because that's what we want to do. We want to get these guys shut down.
He said, well, I on my plea bargain, I gave a couple names, and the police have taken care of most of them.
Oh, okay. What were the names?
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of make a show of writing them down.
Yeah, and you can tell that he's comfortable enough in this situation that he'll give you a couple names, which most of these are just, they sound like simple, meth and weed, pills, names that I don't feel like creating, which is a bad handler, but nothing that really sticks out to you.
Okay. Then certainly no Rufus Brown or Lucian Riggs.
He does not mention either of those names.
Which is what I expected. Okay, so again, kind of write things. So is there anything else that you think we should know, Damien, that might help us in this fight to assist people in cleaning up their lives?
Going into this, would you have had your DNA, your DEA connections let you know anything about his history or background?
Well, I was, when I was inquiring about the dealers and the drug itself, only to be fair, only if it was something that seemed relevant. I don't know that I would have been more likely to have brought up Damien than I would have Ella because of prior prejudices.
Yeah, if you just let them know you're giving this guy a focus, you'll see that he has a couple of charges, just trafficking and being high, mainly dope. However, this account he was giving you about being in the hospital, it was very strange. It was just marked as an overdose, but it had a very strange medical findings, which is actually why he was called to your attention, because the types of things he experienced, visions and other things, were unlike anything else, which put him on this list of maybe Reverb. However, the Christian groups just called it demon possession, which explained it enough. But your findings definitely show that, it's interesting that he had these severe medical records that just kind of got glossed over.
Okay, so that might be something that we need to track down at the hospital separately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, well, now at this point, I'm going to stand up again, put my notebook away, and stand up, say, Damien, thank you for your time. I forgot I've got to go ask someone something at the front desk. Can you excuse me, Jody? Can you excuse me? And then I'll leave the room and go back out.
Pick up back up. Jody, you are now alone with this guy.
All right. Let's wait a couple seconds.
There's no windows to this room. This is like a nice little interior room for people to meet their families. Very nice, like 80s furniture that someone donated.
Is there? I kind of assumed there wouldn't be, but since it's that sort of room, is there a door that I can close, or is it just an open doorway?
There is definitely a door. Yep.
Sucker too as I walk out.
This is basically a glorified janitor's closet that's that people have donated some furniture and like a shelf full of like all the Joel Osteen books.
Yep. Well, in that case, I am definitely pulling the door to, going back out to the front desk to see if the nurse or night attendant, I can't remember which one she was, is still there. And so see if I can possibly occupy her.
All right.
For a few
Jody, you are alone with this guy.
All right. Just wait a couple seconds to make sure, for a DA agent to walk away. Still have my arms crossed, and I look over to Damien. So
you can tell that the new Christian side of him is having him battle with thoughts in his head right now. So he's trying not to look too directly at you.
All right, and I'm going to be like, "Oh, it's hot in here," and I'll pull back my my jean jacket, so I'm just wearing my white tank top. Ugh.
Yeah, he's just kind of humming. Oh, be careful, little eyes, what you see.
Damien, I was in a situation like yours at some point. I would also take off. I would start taking off my boots. So hot in here. It reminds me of when I was in a place like this. It is very painful, I assure you, very painful. And I would start taking off my socks. I'm just barefoot right now. And it gets so lonely when you're locked away with only your own gender. And I would stand up and start walking towards him. Yes, my time spent in a place like this, it was very sad and very lonely. It must be even worse for you. I was only in such a place for a while, but you must have been here for much longer than I have. Mon Dieu, Damien.
I've just been here a couple of weeks. I can't wait to get back out to my girlfriend.
Oh, but of course, I wouldn't want to come between you and her. But there was a gesture you did to me earlier, the kiss on the hand, and I must say it's been such a long time since a person such as yourself has been such a gentleman to me. I would start blushing a little bit, even though my cheeks are like covered in freckles. Would you? I don't mean to do this in the inappropriate way. Would you mind giving me another kiss? It's been so long, and you seem like such a nice man who's found the righteous path.
Yeah, and the more you're talking to him, he's beginning to drop this whole Christian charade more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of stands up and walks over to you. Getting
Oh
ready.
no, I'm standing up to him.
All right, good. Yeah, then he just kind of lean up or do, and go for a kiss in the lips.
All right, and as he's going to go get a kiss with the lips, I grab one of my socks and I shove it down his mouth.
Yeah, he's just kind of muffled, gagging, trying to yell, but you
And
got
I
the
just-
old mandible claw on him.
Yeah, I just. That's true. I'm freaking mankinding him right now. I just like pull him down to his chair, and I pull out a knife from my back pocket, and I hold up to his throat, and I say, "Is this the kiss you were expecting? Was it? Was it? Was it? All right."
He'll make it very clear that this was not the kiss he was expecting.
All right, let's drop the bullshit. Now, unless you want my little friend here, the little kisser, to give you a nice, deep, red kiss on the neck that will definitely leave a not herpy. What's a
Hickey?
bruise from a hickey? No, a very nasty hickey. You are going to tell me a few things that I want to hear. And once you are done telling me this, you are never going to tell anyone else what went on in this room between the time I put this in your mouth and the time I took it out. Okay? D'accord? And I'll just like watch his eyes and be like, I'll start shaking my head like,
Yeah, you definitely have his attention.
all right. Now I shall remove it. I'll like remove the sock a little bit. I'm like, cut. Only what I want to hear. We don't have to bring anyone else in. We don't want your girlfriend knowing that you fell for such a disreputable woman as myself, right? Oh, is the girlfriend even a real thing? Knowing you, probably not. Regardless, tell me what I want to hear. And I would slowly move the sock out, still with the knife against his throat.
Yeah.
All right.
He'll kind of cough. His throat is already scratchy, and he'll say, "What do you want to know?"
I want to know what other drug you were on when you went to the hospital. Because we know it wasn't any type of drug that most people use. It was something special. Something very special. Tell us the name.
He'll say, I don't remember.
Does it start with an R?
No. He said, no. I don't remember.
You don't remember a thing.
No, he said, ever since I woke up and was brought here, I don't remember anything before that. But I have these dreams, strange people and places, and this horrible math, like geometry, and you can tell that he's beginning to panic and get frightened.
All right, it's all right. It's all right. We don't have to think of those memories. Just tell me, do you remember who gave you this?
He says, no. I think it's happening right now.
I would shove the sock right down his throat again.
Roll psychotherapy.
Psychotherapy.
I doubt you're very good at it.
No, not at all. But let's give it a shot.
Let's see if your shock puppet helps.
Oh no. Wait, will I get any type or like the
I would typically give you a -20 for the shock puppet, but I doubt you even have 20.
No, I rolled 96.
Yeah, you definitely. That's another thing about critical successes and failures. If you roll double numbers, it counts. No, at this point, like the shock is in his mouth, but he's yelling and he's going crazy, and you can just see his eyes. Like even though you're used to seeing drug addicts and seeing people in fear, what's in his eyes is something that you've never seen before. So I need you to roll a sanity check.
All right. And I succeed.
Nice. Then you will not lose any sanity.
Awesome.
But you can tell at this point, he's just going into like psychiatric shock as you've kind of caused one of these moments of these visions to come unto him.
Ah, shit. All right. I'm going to bring him over. Like, is there a couch in this room?
Yeah. Well, it's like a little love seat in nice like 80s paisley.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to bring him over to the love seat, put him down it. I'll quickly throw my socks and my jacket back on, and I'll just kind of work myself up a little bit to be like, like I myself then pack a little bit, and I will go to the door and say, "Help! Help! We need help in here! We need help in here!"
Yeah, and a couple of like the white shirts will kind of run in there and seeing what's happening. All the commotion going that way, kind of allowing you to exit.
All right, and I would grab my boots, grab my jacket. Oh, I have my jacket on. Grab my boots, grab my backpack, and I would start heading. I just head out. I would maybe like pop into a bathroom quickly, throw my and reflect.
We need help in here. She walks out half naked.
I'm just kind of boots up. Probably should have asked them about the dealer first. Shit. C'est la vie. And I would go to the front again.
Yeah, all of a sudden, in the middle of you're distracting this lady talking about like 80s gospel singers or her trying to lead you to Christ or whatever, you'll see on like the back security camera there being like an emergency and this lady like turning around to try to find out what's happening, and then you kind of see Jody kind of breach through the door back into the lobby, very quickly exiting.
Better get that tape.
I will excuse myself and follow her.
All right. So you guys, I guess you can write that down as a success. But yeah, basically that just kind of matches the information that you would have found by the medical report, amnesia, and what the church people were calling demon possession. And visions. So that's fun. Meanwhile, that took enough time that the rest of you can look at the class schedule of Ella Smith, and you'll find out that she is a junior at the school. A very, she's part of her class council. She's the class secretary. She's really involved in a couple different clubs in campus. She takes a whole lot of these early morning classes. And so by the time you get back, you'll see that she's in a 8 o'clock British literature class.
Has she ever taken one of my classes?
She is a literature major. And so unless, roll luck.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 0-2.
Nice. That is very lucky. When you see her picture, you remember that she took one of your classes over like Far East mythology or something. It was kind of a big fishbowl class, so you don't know that much. But she's, a typical, rich girl from a little suburb of Chicago. She was smart. And she always got her work done.
Drugs.
So you actually do recognize her, and you're able to pull out some of her plastic. You'll see that she had a C average in your class, but you got a couple emails from her asking if any way she could bump it up to a B for honor roll. So you even had a little bit of communication with her that way. Depending on how nice you are, will kind of be the ending.
Okay.
Do we know her current scores?
She is a very smart student. The class she took with the professor was freshman year, and a whole lot of students make low grades freshman year because they're getting accustomed to it. But the past couple years, sophomore, junior year, she's been an A student and involved in just about everything.
Okay. And you said she has a class at 8 a.m. on
Yep.
British literature, yeah?
Yep, she's a literature major, like a classic rich white girl.
And she lives in a dorm. How far is her dorm from the hall where the class is?
Her dorm is, you have to kind of ride a bus across campus.
Mhm.
But since she's in the humanities department taking class, I can't imagine it's that far away from the, where you teach.
Okay, so I'll probably show up at her dorm maybe about 7:15.
All right. Yeah, and
That is if Cassie is okay with that.
Yeah. Do you want me to wear my federal agent gear or not?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. Which agency are you with?
NCIS.
NCIS. Okay.
you'll be able to go into like the lobby of the door. Even this early, they have kind of one of the RA figures sitting at the desk, which you have your professor ID. However, he's not really wanting you to go into a farther into the girls' dorm, especially this early when girls could be showering and getting ready.
Okay, I'll borrow one of the professor's jackets,
Mhm.
and as the professor walks in, I'll flip my ID. My NCIS.
How old are you?
She 44.
All right, yeah, so you are a little bit older. However, she'd be a whole lot more willing to let a female into the female dorm.
Yeah, okay. I walk in and
Right. Okay.
flip my ID.
Yeah,
NCIS.
maybe you should go and talk to her and bring her up here, and I'll wait
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, I'm looking for an LS Smith.
And they'll flip through, and you can definitely find out that she is here. But do any of you have kind of a high human int?
I've got 10.
That's not that high. How about you, Professor?
I have 30.
30?
Can we pull?
Roll the human int, Professor. I'll give you plus 20 since you're used to college students lying to you. You had to get under 50.
Since I did what?
Since you're used to college students lying to you,
Oh, okay.
I'll give you plus 20. So you had to roll under 50.
There isn't a luck currency like in Call of Cthulhu, is there?
No.
Yeah, okay, I failed. I rolled a 57.
Oh, it's close.
Yeah. Would a persuade help? I mean,
do you have any
not me,
skill
but from them,
that would help?
I have what?
Persuade?
I have 40% in it, actually, yeah.
I mean, that still wouldn't be under what he rolled.
That's true.
He will kind of blurt out that I'm not sure if he's gonna be ready to get up. He just came back into the dorm about 2 hours ago.
Well, I'm afraid it's a matter of urgency. I'm afraid to say. I'm sorry, but it is urgent, and it is a federal case. Well, I'm afraid I cannot tell you.
I think that he is worried because if she's a sophomore, she should be about 20 years old, and the condition that Ella was in when she came back, just from a night of partying, probably would not be the best.
That's fine. Like, we can use it against her.
So anyway, while she's trying to like convince you it's not ready, you see Ella Smith dressed in a nice little blouse and skirt, makeup on, looking nice and ready, just kind of like skipping out, ready to class. No signs of like anything wrong with her.
Okay, I'll say thank you for your help. You've been very helpful, and I'll walk up to Ella.
And she just kind of smiles at you and gives you a hey, and then tries to walk by.
I'll stop her and say NCIS. Fit credentials.
And she'll just look at you and say, "Oh, Delta Theta," and skip by.
No.
Oh, really? No one got that. That was a good sorority joke. Okay,
no, naval investigate.
It was good.
Thank you. My 3 people on YouTube who watch this will enjoy it.
Well,
go ahead. My bad. I interrupted you. You're stopping her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stopping her. Flip my credentials. NCIS, and she'll probably give me the spill of something like CSI or something stupid like that.
I mean, she knows enough. Like, she plays the dumb white girl, but she knows that like NCIS really shouldn't concern itself with just a random college girl. And she'll kind of look behind you and she'll see Professor Palmer, and she'll say, "Oh, hi, Dr. Palmer."
Hi, Ella.
Would like to talk to you privately.
She says, "Well, I like to get to class 15 minutes early to study my notes."
Well, this won't take more than 15 minutes.
And I'll drive you to class afterwards.
Oh, okay, but I can't be long. And she'll kind of move over to the far side of the lobby where there's some.
Is there like a room we can talk?
There's like this little like kitchenette type room.
Okay.
For when they have lobby events. So it's kind of like a very small couple counters and sink, but it also works as a break room. So there's enough privacy.
Yeah, we'll go in there.
All right, and so she's kind of leaning up against the counter.
I'll let the professor lead.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah. She'll remind you that her father is a lawyer and that she knows her rights.
That's okay.
I haven't arrested you for anything yet.
You're not under any in any trouble here, Ella. Don't worry. And I'll just kind of look at Cassie, kind of with a tone it down look. Actually, we were hoping you might be able to help us with something.
Yes. Okay.
A few Navy sailors have been found with this weird substance, and it traces back to this city. And we're trying to cover all grounds of college students if they know anything about it. And then I'll let the professor carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ella, this conversation is strictly off the record and just between the 3 of us. But have you heard, either yourself or amongst your friends, about the drug Reverb.
And he says, "Well, yeah, it's awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, I had a guy give it to me at a party, and he said it's kind of like Adderall, and so I took it, and it's just amazing. I go out night, and it makes the dancing even better. It makes the sex even better, and I can come back here and without even needing a nap, come back and take all my classes and all of my clubs, and I'm doing better than ever."
Really?
Yeah.
I'll pull out my cell phone and flip through some of my other cases which aren't connected to this, and show her a few bodies of deceased Navy sailors, obviously without showing her their head.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's and she kind of kind of cringes at the photos and tries not to look at them. Definitely a swipe left scenario, but she'll say, "Well, I don't think it's the Reverb. I mean, I've only been taking it a couple weeks, and there was one time that I had to go to the clinic, but I think I just drank too much, and I slipped and hit my head on the counter, because I can't really remember that much about that night. But other than that, it's just like Adderall, right?"
Is it expensive?
Well, yes, but Daddy pays for it.
I see. And is it something you have to take every day? Do you take multiple doses a day?
She says, "Oh, I just take it when there's a big party or when I can't get enough sleep and have to study for a test. Like I said, it's just like Adderall, only much better."
Do you have any?
She will say, "Well, it's kind of on high demand, so I just kind of get a pill at a time when I go out."
I see. And it's pretty easy to get a hold of, though? Like, it's pretty readily available if you ask the right people, or?
If you know the right people.
I see. Who would I need to talk to if I wanted to get a hold of some? For research purposes, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. He's a really cute guy at one of the clubs. His name is Luke. He sells it to me.
Luke. Okay. Do you know what club he's at?
Yeah. The Masquerade.
She'll go through her cell phone and see if she can find a. Okay. Did we actually get a photo of the dealers, or didn't we?
You just got the names.
Okay. Can you describe this Luke for us? And she'll take out her pad.
Eventually, she goes about 5 minutes trying to find a politically correct way of calling him African American. But she'll let you know that he's, about her age. Just this black guy who hangs out at the club sometimes, knows the owner, has a really cool posse.
How many posse? How many in the posse?
She's like, he typically has, 3 or 4 friends and a lot of girls with him. She'll kind of look down at her phone and realize that she has to hurry to class, saying, "Is there anything else? We do have a quiz today."
I'll give her my card.
Yeah, my car's this way.
Card.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah,
Today we can talk in the car as a driver to class.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll take out my card and I will give her my card in case you think of anything else.
Great. She'll take the card and kind of put it in one of the zipper pockets of her backpack.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Did you have any other questions you want to ask her on the call right there, Palmer?
I think she's actually given me a lot more information than I was expecting to get out of her in the first place. She's pretty forthcoming.
And you didn't even have to seduce her and stuff a shot in her mouth.
Yeah, well, I fucking work here.
Yeah, you can tell that she is relatively new on it. Like she's just taken it a few times. However, that one time that she was in the clinic, you'll find out that she was just dancing at a club and then just kind of blacked out, hit her head on the table, and she got a little bit of amnesia, but it got cleared really quickly. And so, meanwhile, Damian Lucas, he was a user for a while. But
he definitely looked like he used a lot of other shit too. So
yep. All right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take it to a class.
Yeah, the professor disappeared, but yeah. So this will get you through. You guys can meet up and discuss your findings. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Just you guys already know everything. So for the sake of time.
Do we have everybody else's number in this team?
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You probably exchanged. Like in your file was just basic information.
Yeah. So I'll give our DEA agent a call and pass information along.
All right. So by this time, the DEA has gotten back with the information about that Rufus Brown is in police custody. So that will get you to one dealer. You can also schedule the drop of information in the park, and you could visit little Tcho-Tcho. So it's up to you guys what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm okay going anywhere, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to help with maybe some of the people interaction and information on, I could find out some stuff about the Tcho-Tcho, the Tcho-Tcho people helps with some cultural issues on that, maybe. I will warn you, they're not one of the most pleasant, shall we say, groups of people from the southeast of Asia, but...
Do you think I normally associate with pleasant people? My face out covered in bandages and scars and whatnot.
Right. Josh, those documents you sent me?
Yep.
How were those given to me? What kind of format was I given that? Or is that just stuff that I know?
The paper, the amnesty and norms of the Tcho-Tcho, that would have just been like somebody's thesis probably. But that was written in the Department of Anthropology at University of Chicago.
Yeah, where I work.
So probably with you by your
I probably know Henrietta Cole, in fact.
Yeah, that was written in 2011. However, she's no longer part of the department because what I'm screen sharing right now. Her work.
I can't see the screen. Sorry.
Oh, never mind. I unscreen shared it. The second thing I sent you.
Yeah, that was on Chicago News at 9. Just a transcript.
Basically, like this problem saying that she wasn't politically correct enough, for lack of a better word. She actually lost her place in the department.
I see.
But
okay.
So you could definitely go to the Tcho-Tcho. Depending on how much experience you have with these people, you might have been to Little Tcho-Tcho before and eaten the food or had some of their tea, depending on how interested you are in their culture.
Right, fair enough.
Could ask our professor friend if the Tcho-Tcho speaks any French, given that they do come from Vietnam.
I believe there was something about, let me see if I remember this. French missionaries in Indonesia did go to visit the people. However, it was these missionaries who learned about their violence. And so I'm not sure the French route. I mean, technically, they faced no abuse under the French. And so there might be a little bit of, French enculturation in the language, but I doubt that you'll find that many bilingual people.
Did you say the language is based off of Chinese, or is it more Vietnamese?
It's part of Malay, Vietnamese, Cambodian, and Chinese. Right. Basically, if you know that, you'll be able to get enough words. Most of the people in Little Tcho-Tcho would speak English or at least another Asian language.
Okay.
So,
my question, though, for these agents, since I'm a professor at a university, I don't even own a gun, but obviously, a couple of you have some form of authority, badges, and things of that sort. What do you think would be the point of, and what would be the best way to approach the Tcho-Tcho if we're going to talk to them? We just go start knocking on, noodle restaurants and asking them, where they get their drugs.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
In the 90s, they were the one that their gangs were carrying the drugs. However, all the names that you've had of dealers and users have not been Tcho-Tcho.
No, I know exactly.
Right. So we could go at it from that angle. Either, I mean, it's at least on the surface, it seems they're possibly not involved now. Of course, that's it'd be easy for them to have some people on the street level, and the idea that it's not being traced back to them. But I would think it would be a better tack to take. It's like either, so who took your place, or maybe play on their ego if we find the right people. Are you mad somebody's taking your place? That sort of thing.
Well, there are a lot of nice Tcho-Tcho people who were never involved in gangs.
Right.
But like that's like going to one of these inner city streets, and every time you see a black person saying, "What gang are you part of?"
Right. So. But I was thinking that we would have, through our contacts with the Chicago police and whatnot, at least an idea of where we could start talking to people.
Well, since Brown's already in custody, we could, see if he can roll on his supplier.
That is an idea.
Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea to touch base with the Chicago police again. About what time of day is it now?
It's 10:30 a.m.
So do we want to do that? Go to Chicago police. Of course, Brown is in a holding cell, wherever that would be. But I imagine there are people there we can talk to.
Well, you rolled high enough bureaucracy that you can talk to him.
Okay. All right. So, do we want to talk to the police first, or do we want to try to talk to Brown first?
Would it be better to talk to the police and go through the police and then say, can we in the holding cell. You know, go through the proper chain of command.
Right,
Yes.
right. I just
It
didn't
would
know
be a
if we.
bit trying to talk to a person who's incarcerated without talking to the incarcerators first.
Right. I figured we might want to compare notes though with the police after they let us talk to Brown too. So
Just a
Well,
Delta
that could be-
Green
yeah, that-
reminder. Going through police can help you get information, but also they might find curiosity about why you're studying so hard, their case.
well, that's true too.
So, which is fine to do when you need them, but a good rule is don't get more bureaucracy involved unless you need it, because every path you go is one you'll have to cover later. But you already got good enough bureaucracy that they think you're part of the DEA.
Right. So I guess we're going to speak to Brown now.
Yep.
Okay. Lonzy?
All right. You head to one of the precincts, not too far from where you began the day.
Okay. Question.
Yep.
Who's going in? 2 feds going in?
That would probably be best.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
going
don't
to
think
put a
it would make
limit
much
of.
sense for me to go in.
My character probably has a right here, so
Okay, because what we could do is we could actually like wear hidden mics, and you guys could be sat in a car or something like that with receivers.
okay.
That's not a bad idea. Sounds like a real copy thing to do.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have thought of it, but yeah, I'll do it.
I'll go along with that.
All right.
By the way, Josh, what year is it? Is this 2017?
This is 2017.
Okay. So I drive a 2011 BMW.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that's what you're parking in this part of town.
That's just the car I own, you know. I mean,
That's honestly what the luck roll was for, to see if someone got your rib stolen or stereo. But the person who failed took the bus.
Yeah, your bus got stolen.
Yeah, it didn't work. Anyway, you guys get to the police station, and you can tell there's a little bit of, like rushing, even to the side of panicking, going on in the back when you arrive.
Okay, so I'm guessing there's a commotion in the back, but surely there's still a desk sergeant or somebody. We can't.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. Okay. Well, then we go in with the intent to ask to speak with Brown, but so what's going on?
Calmly, this person will let you know, almost as if they were briefed to do it this way. Mr. Brown is not available right now.
Oh,
And why not?
Mr. Brown is not available right now.
Okay, fine. Flash McCreds. Okay, now why is he not available?
This is a kind of toughened black lady who, your badge means nothing to her. She's like, he's not in a place to receive any visitors right now. We will let you know when he is.
Looks like Mr. Brown's taking a little Mr. Brown. You know what I mean?
You hear over the receiver.
I'll ask the desk sergeant. Is he? We were told earlier that he was here and just in a holding cell. Is he okay? Is this some medical emergency?
And he will kind of delay for a while, but eventually he'll pull one of the lieutenants over, and the lieutenant will kind of look over the room and see that there are a couple other people there, and he'll wave you back to a holding cell. And he'll say, this is where Mr. Brown was earlier this morning.
Okay, and where is Mr. Brown now?
We don't know.
A station full of cops, and you've lost him.
He just vanished just a couple hours ago when you called. We checked on him, and then since then we heard screaming and yelling, and now it's empty.
Do you have a videotape?
Yes, we don't tape these rooms, but there is a hallway camera.
Okay.
We looked at the hallway camera. The door never opened.
Was there anything else noticeable on that tape? I know the door may not have opened, but did you see any movement in the hallway or?
No, and they'll even show you the tape. You'll see, around, 5 a.m. when you had the call that there was a guard who walked by and looked in the room. And then this is kind of like a drunk tape type room. It's kind of like a painted white cinder block wall with, a heavy reinforced door with a little reinforced glass slot that you can look through. And a couple hours later, you see someone else look through that slot, do kind of double take, and then kind of pull his baton out of his pocket and say something into his radio. But he kind of rushed the door as if there was an emergency. And they'll let you go into the room. Do either of you have investigation? Or is it called forensics? I think it's called in this game.
Yeah, I've got a 40 in forensics.
If you look over the wall, you'll see that the door was opened earlier when they checked the room to see where he went. There's no blood and there's no evidence. However, along the lines of these like long rectangular bricks on the wall, you'll see at some of the points and angles, they're marred with gouges and scratches. And these scratches aren't anything that human nails would be capable of.
So there are the marks like on the brick, like something's trying to get out of the wall, or
there's gouges and scratches. Yeah, almost like at the corner, especially of these bricks, there's scratches. However, like the scratches don't go too deep. Which is one reason why other people not looking as closely as you wouldn't have really noticed them.
Okay, I'm going to take some photos on my cell phone of these scratches.
All right.
Yeah, I'm saying to document them.
And can we see the officer who was checking in on him?
Right, the officer who found him. Or didn't find him.
Oh, didn't find him, yeah.
This officer has been put on psychiatric leave.
Okay. Where is he?
And they'll kind of direct you to kind of like a first aid type area where this person is kind of sitting on the edge of one of the beds in there, clearly shaken, even though this happened a couple hours ago.
I'll bring a cup of coffee for him, and one for myself, which probably tastes really crappy, and one for my fellow agent.
Yeah, cops can make good coffee, but it turns into such a thing to keep them awake that, why bother? Make it taste good.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll look up and see you there. He thinks you're Eternal Affairs because he looks really down when he sees these two professional-looking people walk in.
I hand him the coffee.
He'll reach out with an already shaky hand and kind of grab the coffee, and just continue having this hand shake as he brings it to his mouth for a sip.
Do you want to badge him or me?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry. We'll both badge him at the same time. NCIS DEA.
What are you guys doing here?
Running a joint investigation.
I guess the question is, what are you doing here? What happened this morning?
Yeah.
I was just manning the hallway, and I heard a horrible scream. And typically these rooms are mostly soundproof, and you just hear muffled cursing. But the sound I heard, I can't get out of my head. So I ran to check, and when I looked in, there was a body. Well, not even a body on the ground, like a body, but almost just like broken glass. And then there was a strange graph on the wall.
Can you describe it?
It's like the string graphs that the sergeants use when trying to connect a crime.
Mm-hmm.
However, I looked away to yell for help, and when I looked back, all of the chart and the body that was like broken glass in the ground all got pulled inside of one of the bricks.
Pulled inside the brick. You saw that happen?
Well, when I looked back, there was just a tiny little point going into one of the cracks of the brick, just like a tiny dot, and then it disappeared. And I tried to tell them, but they brought me here. Harvey, I forgot on your character sheet. What did you take any type of damaged veteran thing?
I'm sorry, did I take any what?
Damaged veteran?
No.
No. All right.
Mm-mm.
I need you both to make sanity rolls.
Where is sanity?
I did not make it. I rolled an 85.
All right.
Where is sanity on here?
It's
under derived attributes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see it. Right. Uh, 009.
That's this. I always hate this. Double
Just
O.
9.
That's 9.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
9.
So you pass because you kind of have the same feeling that these cops have. That it was just like kind of a strange black spot on the wall. However, the way he's describing this, and with the Delta Green knowledge you already have, Harvey, you're going to lose Let me roll. 3 sandy points. Now, you can try to preserve some of these and take it off of a bond and willpower if you wish. Or you can just take it all off sandy.
I'll just take it all off sanity.
All right. And yeah, you just realize that whatever this guy saw, in order to make a prison guard in the downtown part of Chicago crumble this easy, it probably was something.
Yeah, he didn't dream it.
Yeah, and I'm not being accused for his escape, but I don't know how he got out, which makes me think what I saw was real.
Well, you saw it, right? I'm not saying what it was, but you saw something that didn't match. You saw something that didn't match the person who was supposed to be in the cell.
Well, it was the thing in the wall was almost like a strange network of spider webs, but the guy in the cell, I just saw him a couple hours earlier when I walked by, and this cracked mesh of him on the ground looked just like him. It looked like his reflection was in a mirror that broke, but it was him.
What was he like the first time you checked on him?
He was a typical drug dealer. We picked him up off the street high on something, which is why we threw him in a drunk tank. We didn't want to deal with him until he had sobered out.
Hmm.
And you didn't notice anything else until you heard him
scream? No, we thought, it can be normal for people to scream when they're coming off high or when we're taking them off drugs, but the scream I heard, it almost did it sound human.
Say that again?
The scream I heard almost did it sound human.
Okay, I'll finish taking a couple of notes. Then look at Anderson and motion for the doorway.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, officer.
Yeah, I'll hand him my card in case he thinks of anything else or whatever.
Yeah, once again, kind of with a shaky hand. Now even kind of more repressed because he's relived this account to you. He just kind of grabs your card and kind of stares blankly into this black cup of coffee, tremoring with his arm as you leave the room.
What was his name?
He was Officer Baker.
Okay.
Andrew Stephen Baker.
Okay, cool.
So
now all of this was being broadcast to the two in the car.
Yep.
So I need you two to make sandy rolls also.
Not even in the building, and they got to roll for sanity.
Hey, they heard it.
That's true.
Oh man.
It's like, what the fuck?
I'll let you make it at plus 20. He'll add 20 to your
Yeah.
sanity.
What is my sanity? Let's see here.
It's pretty low.
I will succeed regardless.
All right.
Yeah, I got a 29, so.
All right. So both of you passed. So yeah, you hear the story, but without really seeing the fear in this guy's eyes, you don't get the full experience that Harvey got.
That is pretty fucked up.
Now that you are with cops, they could help you track down the other dealer if you want to share information with them.
We already have a lead on where. I
Riggs
mean,
is.
right. I mean, I think, of course, not that showing up at the masquerade at
This time
noon.
this time of day would help.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what we could do is go back, find a base, sit down and put all our pieces together, and wait for the drop.
I'd be good for that.
Yeah, the drop, the Tcho-Tcho, little Tcho-Tcho, and then however you want to handle finding this other person are really the three things on the docket right now.
Maybe we want to go to Little Tcho-Tcho.
It might not hurt to go. Go check out the neighborhood in the daytime. Probably more likely to encounter some of the good, helpful
People.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. The professor has a high enough anthropology and understanding of these people, and especially from that news report, to let you know that if you talk about their cannibalism or rape or all the bad parts of their past, you'll probably get shut down pretty quickly. However,
Defense pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They've got their own little personal SJW group here. What were they called? The CAAA, anyway.
yeah, you could go through that way too if you want to go through the White Knights.
That's a possibility too, actually. But I'll leave it up to the officers to decide. At the moment, I'm thinking of myself just mainly as like an interpreter and a cultural consultant for the most part.
Well, that's true, but that's right. That's what you are. So, as the cultural consultant,
Yes, you can go with.
Of course I'll go with. Yes,
What do you
absolutely.
think
I'd say those are the kind of options. We can either go talk to the people themselves, or we can. I would probably, if you're asking for my advice, I would say go for the advocacy group.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Dealing with people of at least somewhat better kind of social skills, I guess. I mean, if you want to just go wandering around little Tcho-Tcho asking for drugs, I mean, I think that's probably a job for her. And I lost my names already, but I'll nod towards our criminals.
That's something Jody would be up for.
And like I said, there's still some like patriarchs and matriarchs of the Tcho-Tchos that own businesses who are first generation, and so they would be aware of everything that went on, even though they might not have been involved in the criminal part of it.
Or on the other side of the coin, maybe they are. In which case, too, I don't know if we want to just go talking to them right away. But yeah. So should we try the Tcho-Tcho? I can't remember the whole thing. Advocacy Alliance.
Tcho-Tcho American Advocacy.
Tcho-Tcho American Advocacy Alliance.
Yes, CAAA.
Yep.
I think we've talked to too many officials today. We should talk on more private level, if you know what I mean.
We could do both, for that matter. Split into 2 teams.
True.
This is very true.
I tell you what. I mean, you're a DEA agent, right?
Right.
Maybe you should accompany Jody as far as the street level stuff goes, and myself and Cassie can go and talk to somebody in the Tcho-Tcho American Advocacy Alliance.
Okay.
What do you think? Cover more ground that way.
Yeah.
Also, it looks a little less suspicious to people when we walk up on them with just 2 of us instead of 4 of us.
True.
Very true.
All right. I'll go ahead and do the CAA first, and any information that they might not get, then we can jump to see with the more informal things. But you're able to call the CAA, and since it's been, half a decade, almost a full decade since the big case, really they're not doing that much besides planning a couple, Tcho-Tcho festivals or whatnot. So you're able to get in pretty quickly. The director name is Train Duke Bien. She's a retired physician in her 60s. She was born in Vietnam, but she's one of these first generation people who came over here and founded the CAA. And she's
Sure I heard that right. Did you say her name is Trey Bien?
Yeah, I'll type it down.
Very good.
I was just thinking that as well.
I'm really bad with names, even though I know a couple languages. It's crazy. But you'll sit down, and he'll probably greet Palmer first, saying, it's so nice that we now have a better relationship with the anthropology department at the University of Chicago. And
certainly. Well, I know that the university certainly appreciated your donations.
Yes. Well, some people would prefer to look for the worst in people to make a name for themselves, instead of celebrating the beautiful tradition we have. And she'll kind of point back to her wall where she has all this artwork and music notes framed. She'll hand you both a business card, and you can tell that she's kind of expecting to get one back for you.
Yeah, she'll get one from me.
Meanwhile, if you look around her office, you will see that she has video camera and sound recorded. And so anything you say to her
will be taken down and used in evidence against us in the court of law.
pretty much. But she'll sit down saying, so why do I have the pleasure of meeting with you two today?
After you, Doc.
Damn, you beat me to it. Well, Miss Bien, there's some rumors going around the university amongst the students of a return of a party drug from a couple of decades ago, back before we had such a good open relationship. I do believe this drug, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but it had origins in, it was the Tcho-Tcho who brought it over or created it or whatever, was it?
Yes. Well, it was first found in the 90s by Tcho-Tcho gangs, and so it's believed to have come from that area.
Unfortunately, this drug has kind of its origins amongst the Tcho-Tcho, and we'd like to try to eliminate this problem before it becomes a big problem and becomes too public. You've seen the things going on in Florida and such with bath salts and things of that sort. We don't want to have that kind of public like blow up over something like this, which in the end just makes it more popular.
He will look at you saying, well, once again, I trust that your department will not make big deal about something that ended decades ago. However, I am aware of this drug. It is what we call liao. And you would know from your language that means black lotus, which is a very rare and sacred flower in the area. And actually, in a painting behind her, you see this black lotus flower. And it's in the hands of a bizarre god who you would know is named Shukoran. Basically, a midnight black-skinned godly figure with an elephant trunk for a face. It kind of looks like the
Ganesh.
It looks like the Brahma Kamal lotus, except it's a deeper purple color. The professor, you would also know that Liao comes from the Himalayas, and Liao was the name of a mythical Chinese alchemist who is the one who discovered the powers of this flower. It was holy to the Tcho-Tchos, Tcho-Tchos, I forgot what I called them, since, throughout their history. And anciently, when they worshiped these false gods, they used it to see visions of the past and future. But yeah, the moment he mentions the name, it would come. And while it is dangerous enough, and this is her more speaking from the position, while it was dangerous, it was a beautiful ritual that is long in our history. The issue was, about 20 years ago, a drug called Reverb was created. And while it would have been sacrilegious, and it still is sacrilegious, I believe Liao has been mixed, making it even more powerful. It's no longer just a hallucinogen to speak to gods, but it could have much worse effects.
Even more reason for our mutual benefit if we can nip it in the bud as soon as possible before it takes off.
Neither of you have human int.
Not much. I had like 30% in it, right? I think. By the way, I totally gave you the wrong numbers earlier when I added anthropology and history. I don't know what I was reading, but
yeah, I thought it was like 170 or whatever.
It should have been 150. Yeah.
150. All right. Yeah, basically, to the Greeks, the Tcho-Tchos or the Tekoa, they were violent, ruled most of Afghanistan before being pushed back to the Asian wilds in the 3rd century BC. No one knows where they were originally from. I'll tell you what. I'll let you roll. Anthropology with plus 20. So
Okay.
Yeah. So you. All right.
I rolled an 82 under 90. Under 90, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you think about these words, or maybe study them a little bit more, and you see these like religious paintings in the wall, you'll see that Tcho-Tcho uses an old Sanskrit term, preta, Preta, and this is This is a bad ghost.
Malevolent?
Yes, thank you. Malevolent.
A bad ghost.
Sorry.
You bad ghost.
I'm better with one syllable synonyms. But this is a one of those ghosts from Buddhist and Taoist traditions, which would almost kind of pop in your mind the demon possession that Damien was accused of, seeing that the religious people might actually know something. Roll sanity as you come to such this conclusion.
Me?
Here goes.
As well?
Not you. You don't know any of this stuff.
Oh, that's all right.
I made it.
You made it? All right. You won't lose anything. You're just going to be kind of lost in thought.
Yeah,
Like
she's talking here. She's talking about the mixing the drug, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about fucking Taoist ghosts and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be more
Okay.
atheist or agnostic, but
I'm
kinda
definitely atheist,
in the
yeah.
back of your head, it's like, what if these Eastern religions, some of these demons in it are actually true?
What if they were actually onto something?
Yeah, and so you'll go through this meeting kind of making these connections.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I go up to the painting of the god that's holding the Black Lotus?
Yep.
And I will say, what are the conditions needed to actually grow the Black Lotus?
I will roll botany for her. She'll say some of the flowers that have been grown in some of the plants that were grown in the Far East have been able to be salvaged and grown in this climate for different teas and spices. However, she hasn't heard of anyone being able to grow this in this area. So
Okay.
she thinks it was just people who brought this with them when they immigrated to America, and it being such a mass immigration that customs didn't catch it.
Okay. Where would you think the right place is to actually grow said plant in this locality?
Once again, she'll say that she doesn't think it's possible to grow it here. Perhaps you could talk with one of the tea shops in the area that does grow plants, but this plant was already so rare that she doubts that it could be grown to any mass here.
And then we'll come in with our flamethrowers and burn the bloody thing down.
Yeah.
Not that we will.
And then she'll kind of laugh at she'll say, so why are you so interested in something that happened 30 years ago?
Because it's starting to happen again.
Yeah.
And she'll kind of start saying, you can't paint this picture over my people.
I'm not. I'm just asking theoretically. I was asking theoretically. But obviously
Trust me.
now...
Neither one of us want to write this, want to paint this
No.
painting or paint this picture over your people. If anything, my reason for being here is because if anything does come up, and if anybody else should try to, say the media who likes to try and play on people's prejudices, then I may be able to assist you in
Exactly.
helping to protect your reputation. and to protect the respect that you've earned. The respect that you've earned.
The respectful people. We're just trying to find the disrespectful.
Don't you try to threaten me.
I'm not threatening you.
Last time you came against my people, Dr. Cole still hasn't found work. And you're next, Palmer. If you even try to bring any of this past and bring a dark light on the beautiful history of my ancestors, you'll have the exact same result as your predecessor.
With great respect, we are trying to help you remove the stigma.
I had not heard about the stigma in 30 years until you came and talked to me. You do not come in and talk about our beautiful art. You do not come and he holds up a newspaper of like little girls doing traditional dance. You don't come in and talk about us reliving the dance of the festival. You come in talking about the minority of crime.
Exactly. And we want to prevent the minority of the crime spreading even further to destroy your reputation.
And I'll make reference to a couple of different papers that I've published and stuff on Far Eastern cultures and studies that I did when I was in Vietnam and China, and point out the fact that I actually have, on multiple occasions, been involved in publications that did talk exactly about their culture and their art and their history. Not necessarily just the Tcho-Tcho individually, although I'm sure that's probably come up at some point or another as
Roll
well.
luck.
Okay. To see if I ever have said anything nice about the Tcho-Tcho specifically.
Exactly.
43?
33?
43.
40. All right.
I was going to say with what I was saying, would I have given him the professor a boost?
No, if you would have known him like when he was writing these papers, maybe. But luckily, one of your first jobs when you came into the department was to write a good paper about the Tcho-Tchos, the Tcho-Tchos, so that to kind of make up for what Cole did. And so you do have a good paper talking about the beautiful culture and stuff.
So I'm just going to throw that kindly and gently in her face, diplomatically. Yep. Say, as a matter of fact, lady, you don't know me. But
you don't know shit.
But yeah, he'll kind of quickly usher you out.
I know
about this meeting.
When I said you don't know
things like facts in their face, but you know.
You know the way advocacy
actual historically documented evidence, things of that sort, none of that means anything to them.
Honestly, in that conversation, you learned or knew everything that this is covered through talking. Okay. And if this was multi-session, I would let you go through the red herrings of having talked to the T people and all that stuff, but I'll save us some time and let you know that that's not the problem. So,
okay, as we exit, I bow in respect, even if that is Asian bowing. Yeah, I think. Correct?
Actually, in Tcho-Tcho culture, bowing is a direct insult to the ancestors of the individual.
Fuck.
And,
I do apologize.
And it's essentially like slapping somebody across the face with a glove in medieval.
Yeah, that's not bowing. That's insinuating you're leaning down to spit on the grave of their ancestor.
Yeah, where are you on that one, cultural advisor?
So as he goes to bow, I'll kind of stop him and catch him part way and just like nod my head and offer to shake her hand.
There we go.
All right. until by the time you've tried to salvage the situation, I'll go ahead and say that you were also able to pick up the drop. Blah, blah, blah. Does anyone have science or pharmacy?
Nope.
Medicine?
No. But I do have a first aid kit, which gives me.
None here.
Basically, you're able to get the documents and.
Does my pharmacy of 20 do anything, or
Your what?
my pharmacy of 20?
Roll.
All right, okay. That's not happening.
All right. Yeah, you receive a file, and you'll find out that the pills are mostly sugar, and they have some other hallucinogens in them, but also little tiny bit of some type of flower, which is believed to be the now, but you guys to be the Black Lotus. None of you are good enough at science to have to make a sanity check. So, all right. I think the only thing that's left for you guys to do on the table is try to meet up with the last dealer.
Riggs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cass will say, "You know what? You could have told me before we go in. Don't bow."
Sorry, I didn't think of it until you started to go to do it. You know, when you study so many different cultures, things get a bit muddled.
And now I have to go and see my psychiatrist for all this crap.
Yeah. Hey, I have my psychiatrist. I pull up blunt right here. I give a little smile and put the blunt back into my jacket.
So, how do you think we should approach Riggs?
Depends on where he is. I want to bet that since he's a dealer.
Did we get his address from the cops?
Well, we know he works out of, or we suspect that that's the same, that Lucian Riggs is the Luke who works out of the Masquerade.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking as well.
So, depending on, we want to try to, I mean, I don't know if we can track him down somewhere before there, but we've always got that as a possibility tonight.
To actually just go to the club. What night is it anyway, dude? What night of the week is it?
It should be Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Or probably Friday. She there was class.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
I was just wondering about that.
She goes to class on a Saturday.
Well, yeah. Harvey picked me into a corner saying he asked for the weekend off.
Oops.
Friday.
I did say a long weekend.
A long weekend.
So it was
Friday or Monday, whatever day doesn't
Let's
matter.
say
Friday
Friday.
is more of a club night, I guess.
Friday's good. Yeah. So okay, well we can do that.
Is there anything we need to do before then?
I would prefer to sit in the car for this particular operation, if you don't mind, just because I teach here. I don't really want to be seen hanging around inside. I can't remember the name of the nightclub now, but
The Masquerade.
the Masquerade.
The Black
Awesome.
Lotus.
Well,
I lost all my
Okay.
notes when I got kicked from the call. So
and two, I would say Jody is pretty well equipped to, for this scene in the club. But who's going to go with her? And how are we going to approach this? I mean, this. I would imagine this is possibly not one of those scenarios where we want to walk up to the suspected dealer, who's our only remaining link, really, that we've not exhausted here,
And flash
and say
credentials.
hi.
Hey, we're
Yeah,
federal
hi.
agents. Let's just run.
Yeah. So now that doesn't mean that Anderson or Harvey can't go, but we shouldn't go that way. You know what I mean?
of course. Well, this is your area of expertise. You're the DEA agent.
So
What's our intention with this guy anyway? Do we want to? I mean, he's probably just a small fry, if you know what I mean. So
right, but we're supposed to be
we don't want to just go in there and like arrest the guy, abduct him, take him out, right? So,
right. No, in fact, we're not arresting people here. You know, we're getting this information to try to track down the source of what we think is the resurgent reverb. So,
how old are you, Harvey?
43.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about you, Cassie?
44.
Oh man.
Well, I'm 43 with the typical, 5'10", 195, close crop brown hair.
You fit into the club scene with all your dad jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
I guess I could put on a "Your Music Sucks" T-shirt and try to pull it off. But,
Yeah.
Couldn't we?
How about the Cosby Show, huh?
Couldn't we use Ella? Couldn't we use Ella?
Possibly.
Yeah,
Get her
she could
to make an introduction.
Make an introduction or lead him outside or something like that. Then they'll be pressing for information.
How do you feel about it, Jody? Since it'd be you doing the work.
Nah. If we need to get someone who's expendable, I'm okay with this.
no, not expendable. It's the opposite of what she would be.
Ah, you're no fun. I'm fine with this.
So then the three of us wait outside.
Mm-hmm.
So should we go and get Ella as well?
Well, we can certainly try. If we can track her down.
Well, and so let's do that, because obviously we've got some time before we need to be back at the masquerade to try to track down Luke. When we do come back, if Jody and possibly Ella are going in, I'd say possibly, since we've already demonstrated we have the two-way radios, maybe Cassie and Palmer wait out front, and I will go around behind the building, if that's possible with the physical layout, just to have the other exit covered.
Yeah,
because we don't know how it's going to go.
Oh yeah, because he'd probably try and run.
You can apprehend him, and we can perhaps do a little bit more aggressive
negotiations.
All right, that sounds good to me. So, able to track Ella down again this afternoon, based on her class schedule and knowing where.
Yeah, she's involved in a couple of clubs, but you can catch her and roll luck.
Because hey, it's Friday night. Everybody likes to party on a Friday, especially university
84.
kids.
After being confronted, you'll find out that he talked to her father,
Oh, God.
and that he's going to come home this weekend. So he is out of the picture.
Okay. But you can still go in and just look for Luke. And he was, if anybody asks why you're looking for him, where you heard the name Luke, you can just say you heard it from your friend Ella.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Do you know the current relation? Perhaps Luke is not a fan of Ella anymore.
Well, she's only been using Reverb for the past couple of weeks, she said. So most likely he's still here. And I mean, or he would be here, be there that evening. And
she had just come in from a night of partying when we saw her too. She was probably on the drug then.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about how it allows her to party all night and then go to class, no problem in the morning, like she was doing.
Right. And she was certainly bright-eyed.
And she specifically said she always just goes and buys it when she's going to use it. So it's safe to say that she probably bought it from him here like last night.
Yep. And we do have his physical description as well. So even if we don't have her to eyeball him, it's not like we have no information.
Mm-hmm.
What's security like at this club, Josh?
You get to the club, and out the front are a whole lot of flashing lights. Ambulances, police cars.
No.
It looks like someone spiked the punch bowl.
Okay, it looks like it's the professional's job.
I'll look for a place to park the car not too far away.
You'll find out that there was a supposed overdose at the club.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who goes by the name Bad Luke. However, his friends carried him out of the club before the police or anyone else could get there.
Mm-hmm.
However, the owner of this club is very angry, saying that they have problems with him all the time. They think he's a dealer, and they're more than willing to give you the address to his girlfriend's house, where he's probably staying.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Works with me.
All right. Yeah, by the way, you guys had an awesome plan, and if this was part of a campaign, I totally would have played out that whole scene. But just following one-shot rules and not wanting to add 2 hours when all of us have stuff to do in the morning. So just letting it, it killed me because I think it'd be so cool to have Ella go in and have a fight scene or something. But I had to be the bad guy adult and say that we can't play all night. Yeah.
Please,
I will drive to
can we have a
Luke's
campaign?
girlfriend's house.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have way too many other systems coming on. So keep in tune to the cock ring. You'll never know what's popping up.
Oh God, that's terrible.
All right.
All right. So you get the address, and
Please, no, we don't want any blue lights.
Well, you're able to kind of get the information so the cop doesn't really matter. And with your different badges and different ways in, you'll kind of crash into this hotel room, expecting to go guns a-blazing. However, you're going to see all of the friends kind of around the bed, and Bad Luke is going to be kind of trembling on the bed. His eyes are kind of wide and glassy. All over the wall, there are different type of posters and like albums and security cameras. However, with him in this condition in the bed, he's not really in any position to fight or flee. And you can tell that he's definitely in bad shape. They propped open a window to give him some like fresh air, and so below him is kind of like an alley, several stories below. But you see that he's still kind of responding. So if you want to, whatever you want to do or question him, he's free to do that at this point.
And no one else in the room, or
there? I mean, his friends are there.
Oh, right.
A couple of rough-looking gang guys. You can tell a couple of them probably have guns, but they seem a whole lot more worried about him.
Okay. Would it be wise if we cuffed them, got them on the floor, removed their weapons?
I'll say that you could definitely get that done if you guys kind of rush in here with guns and weapons.
Oh, fucking right.
Yeah, you're able to kind of carry them out and lock them up.
I'll use my my intimidation weapon.
Yeah, we won't do a big combat scene. These guys were kind of too worried. You kind of handcuff them and throw them away in one of the walk-in closets under all these Jordans and Gucci belts and other stuff that the kids wear nowadays.
Can we do a breach action? Please,
once again, if I wasn't trying to wrap this up in the next like few minutes, then yes.
So can we ask his buddy? So what happened? What's he on? Does he need medical attention?
And okay, his connection came in and gave him some reverb, and typically he cuts it, but he tried it without cutting it at all.
Okay. Who is his connection? And where is his connection?
He's some chink. I don't know. Some lady.
Name.
She has a. We don't know her name. We always had to leave the room. She has a tattoo of a black flower on her shoulder, and you'll see that all the security monitors in the room are broken. They took the security laptop and threw it out the window. We don't know where she is.
How long ago was she here?
Before we went to the club. However, he said he was fine, even though we said he should rest. But when we got to the club, that's when the drug really hit him. He blacked out and fell over and began throwing up all over the place. Just barely in the commotion, we were able to get him out.
Okay. During this, I'll get on the comm to Jodie and see if she can hack into the laptop, see if the laptop is in one piece to be usable.
Does Jodie have any computer science or Shiggin?
No, she would be able to pick up the laptop, but she knows how to use an iPhone. That's about it.
Do you have any type of search?
Search.
I have search.
I have search.
What percentage of search do you guys have?
I got search as well. I got 20% search.
I have 40%.
I have 50.
Yeah, with a 40 or 50, you'd be able to see the laptop was thrown out the open window and just smashed to pieces, it would take a pretty good repair ability to
take the hard drive, connect the hard drive to a different laptop.
Do you have computer science?
No.
Second? Yeah. It's going to take someone more trained in that area to be able to operate that.
Okay, well, let's. You said Riggs he's semi out of it, but also semi responsive.
Yeah, you can tell he's still kind of yelling every now and then. Like he's definitely responsive to what's going on. Like when you walked in, he began yelling at you, and like he told these guys not to fight. So he knows what's going on.
You know how we could maybe draw her out again. He looks like he needs hospitalization. We get him to the hospital, and we get the news spread around that he's going to live and that he's okay, and that he's now an important suspect in an ongoing DEA investigation.
Or a person of not suspect, person of
person
interest.
of interest. Sorry, you're right.
That's even better. That's even better.
Person of interest. Yeah. Then maybe just send somebody to kind of take him out, finish him off, or whatever in the hospital.
And then
the whole time he's yelling, "No, you can't let them know I'm here. All the guys who I'm selling to are gone. It's just me and Rufy. We're the only two. If they find out."
Rufy?
Yeah, Rufy's not doing so well.
Someone's out to get us. You can't let them know I'm here, or we're in trouble.
Well,
so
who are they?
They're and he begins cursing. I can't remember. Why can't I remember?
Because you stupid fuck. Your high as a fucking kite and blah 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 blah.
And he begins kind of yelling and going crazy, and you can tell that at this point the drug is kind of picking up, and his body is seizing a lot more, and his eyes kind of get even more glossed over, and he begins yelling about these visions he's having. He's seeing a Mayan pyramid, like.
Okay,
but
I'm calling
there's blood running down it, and
the ambulance,
and people crossing a big ice bridge, and a lizard standing like a man in elaborate silk robes in a laboratory, and outside there's dinosaurs, and wait, everything's black. There's light. There's energy. There's something blowing up. There's something coming. It's like shapes, and no, they're coming at me. No, God, it's my brain. Everyone roll sanity.
We got to get under our current. We got to get under our current sanity.
Yep.
Under your current sanity, yeah.
I rolled over.
I rolled half.
I got a 13, so I'm good on that one.
99.
That's really bad.
That's really bad.
Oh my god.
What about you, Ian?
I rolled a 24, so I mean
Maybe half. All right. There's no like hard or extreme successes. Jackson, you will lose 3 sanity. You can take it all off sanity, or you can take it off willpower and the bond if you don't want to lose so much sanity. Cassie, you will lose 4 sanity. You can take it. Basically, you can roll 1d4, and whatever you roll, you can subtract that from the sanity you'd lose, and instead lose it from willpower and a bond. So,
Okay, I'm losing 2 from willpower.
or and the bond. So one relationship that doesn't matter so much. And as he's yelling about his brain, you see that his eyes are beginning to gloss over even more and almost have like this black film covering them. And then you see white through them as the black film kind of opens up, forming almost like a spider's web. This really sharp, like geometrical lines. And then all of a sudden you see all these lines go out into the corner of his eyes.
Can we get him out of this room?
And yeah, you can try. So do you try to pick him up and
yeah,
as you reach down, try to grab him, these lines in his eyes are gonna kind of shoot out of his eyes, kind of like intense spider webs. And you're going to see a very strange creature emerge out of his eyes.
Oh fuck!
I need all of you to make a sandy roll.
Yes, 17.
96.
1.
7.
All right. If you passed, you'll lose 1 sandy. If you failed, you will lose 4 sanity.
Oh, going a long way after this one.
Once again, you can take it off willpower and bond you have. You roll 1d4 and take it off that. If you have not done that yet, I'm pretty sure you're going to lose enough sandy that you're going to have a bad experience.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cooler if you don't. Have you taken anything off a bond, or do you just want all to be off sandy?
I've taken one off a bond.
It should still be enough. What's your breaking point? Are you past your breaking point in sandy loss?
Breaking point? Oh, I just reached my point. Do I have to go below or just at the breaking point?
I'm going to say reaching it is bad enough.
Okay.
It's more fun that way.
Yeah, you just charge something. I don't normally get to do these mechanics in a campaign. You just charge something unnatural. Roll a d10 for me.
Oh, no. Oh, I remember what happened last time I did this for you.
Yep.
I rolled a 9.
All right. Let me find the right page. All right. You do have temporary insanity. You got to choose either to flee, to struggle, or to submit. Basically, fight, flight, or pass out.
I am going to struggle for my life.
All right. So, and on top of that, I'm going to say this is going to be unnatural. Oh, my 9. Let me read through all the things that can happen to you, and you pick one.
Okay.
You can get amnesia. You can get a depersonalization disorder, depression, dissociative identity disorder, a fugue, megalomania, paranoia, sleep disorder, catatonia, or delusions, or psychopathy.
Well, I think the last one I'm already.
Oh, never mind. Those 3 would be. The last 3 don't count.
Okay.
That's if you totally go out.
I think she would just get depressed after this.
All right.
Like, she's fucked up shit in the drug world, but this is kind of disheartening.
Yep. Depression means total despair, a crushing inability to get anything done. Sometimes take the shape of overwhelming guilt, caused by biological and psychological factors. Is triggered by reminders of the mental trauma your agent has suffered or inflicted. During an acute episode, all your skills are at -20. Mm-hmm. So all your rolls are at -20 right now. Mm-hmm. As soon as this thing shoots out, you're going to see like this web of lines almost like the room's being scanned, and these lines are going to point to different corners. The corners of monitors, the corners of these frame albums, and this geometrical beast is almost being able to connect to a lot of things. And although it's completely aware of the rest of you, its major focus is this creature, or is this bad Luke, whose eyes it came out of. And let's see. How do I want to handle this? I'm just going to roll for the first attack against Luke. 21. You're going to see that Luke is going to be very quickly engulfed by all of these shards, almost like a breaking mirror. This creature is going to adhere itself to Lucas. And let me see, lethality, 86, 14. How much health does he have? Not enough to survive that. Almost immediately, this creature is just going to like crash over him like a wave of broken glass. And you're going to see Lucas just shatter into pieces of glass and leave behind a big pool of blood staining his bed. And that's not going to be good for you guys, actually. All right.
Can we shoot it?
Yeah, we go in dex order. Who is the highest dexterity?
Mine's 10.
Mine is 12.
All right.
Mine's 12.
All right. I doubt the professor's higher than that. One of the people with 12 can attack. I'm going to let Jody go first since she's drawn to having to fight this thing.
All right. I'm rocking a shotgun right now, so first instinct, lap that off.
Nice.
Ooh. Pardon?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll.
Oh, yeah, that's a significant fail of 93 over 30.
All right. Yeah, this it's kind of like in your fear. You're just going to randomly shoot, putting some holes in the wall. This creature, you see it after it kind of swallows up Luke, it begins to try to jump toward one of these geometrical angles by one of the monitors. But now that you've shot, its attention is to you, and all of these shards begin turning around and facing you.
Meh.
Cassie?
Okay, I'm going to use my .357 revolver.
All right.
10.
10. All right, that's going to hit, and you can roll the damage on it.
D12.
Yep.
Nine.
9, yeah. What would typically be a good shot right into it, you're going to see it's just going to hit one of these reflective lenses over it and just skid off.
Okay, now that I've got its attention, I will say to Jody, come on, we're getting out of here. There's nothing we can do for him now.
Like, let's get
I
here. Let's
grab. Can I grab her
She to struggle.
and pull her?
Struggle means she has to fight until she's killed, until she's unconscious, or until she's restrained, or until he kills the thing he's attacking.
Okay. I take it the guys we've detained are going.
Well, let's see. What's
You
Harvey
mean
doing?
the poor bastards that are handcuffed on the floor?
Well,
They're
these
like-
guys,
they're like in a
these
closet
guys
or
are in the
something.
closet. They're pretty safe right now.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Fucking John Carpenter's the thing right now.
Yeah,
So-
I'm like probably thinking about just getting the fuck out of here. Heading
Yeah.
for my
After
car.
that gunshot,
I don't even have a gun.
after that gunshot, you realize that this thing is pretty invulnerable.
So Harvey notices two things from Jody and Cassie's actions. Jody missed, obviously, but does it? I mean, is her struggle obvious? You know what I mean? Can you tell?
You
that
have
that's-
human int, so you can tell that he's
Mhm.
definitely in a insane state.
Okay, and did I recognize, due to my firearms training, did I recognize that the shot from Agent Anderson was a good one that didn't have any effect, or did it seem like it was just a wild shot?
Yeah, basically this thing's the charge on it can reflect gunfire.
Okay, and that's what it seemed like happened.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. There's nothing we can do here. I was about to propose pulling out the M&P, but no.
Yeah, I was
No,
thinking
there's
the
no
MP5.
point.
I was thinking the MP5 as well, but it was like, no.
No, we should
Book it.
if we have to physically remove
Jody.
yeah, we should do so.
Yeah.
All right. So do you go to grab her and restrain her?
I grab.
On the way to the
Do you have like your backpack on?
She would still no. I would think she would probably have left her backpack in the vehicle.
Here's how I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have a this be like a battle maneuver. I'll give Harvey a +20 to his unarmed since he's getting help from Cassie. So both of you roll unarmed.
Okay.
Do they both get the +20 then?
No. All right. What about Cassie?
39.
Oh, not Cassie. Jody. Sorry.
Sorry.
43 under 50.
43. All right. The way that this works is if more people succeed, the person who rolls higher wins.
Mhm.
So although you two are grabbing at her and trying to hold her back, she's able to shake you loose and once again run at this creature.
Mm-hmm. I with the shotgun. I'm just going at it with the baseball bat.
All right. Professor.
Doctor.
Noticeably, the unmuted professor would be nice.
Sorry, I'm still kind of working a little bit here. I was distracted materially. So you're asking what I'm doing now?
Yep, your turn.
Yeah.
They try to restrain. You see that combat's not working. They try to restrain Jody, but she manages to fidget out.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Jody. I'm heading for my car.
All right. You get out. Jody.
Mhm.
Are you gonna try to hit this thing with the baseball bat?
I'm gonna swing away.
All right. Roll unarmed combat.
Wouldn't that
Or
be melee?
not unarmed, melee.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a 5 over 50. That's going to
What you roll 55?
85 over 50.
Oh, 85. All right. I think it's 85 over 50. However, when you attack something gets a chance to attack you back. And you go to swing and break off one of these thing's arms, but you're going to miss because the arms are going to stretch out toward you.
Mhm.
That is a 20 or 30. I never know how to count zeros. That's a 30. However, that's going to be easily a hit.
Mhm.
This thing's damage is... All right. And these shards are just going to go to grab you. And it's almost like someone's dumping broken glass all over you at high speed. Because these things are just going to slash all over you. And you're going to take 7 damage as you just peppered with these shards of the strange metallic.
And so you would just scream out, less so in pain, more so in just
Anger.
pure terror of wanting to kill this thing.
What's your max health?
14. So
All
I'm
right,
at
roll con.
con.
Since you lost half your health in one attack.
16 under 70.
You're still going.
Hell yeah. Actually, hell no. I want to pass out.
Other two, Cassie.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her in a full Nelson
Hell yeah.
and pull her back.
What is Harvey doing this turn?
So is Jody? I mean, if she's within melee range of this thing,
Well, if I put, since I've got, I'm gonna put Jodie in the full Nelson, you could grab my back collar and drag me out.
that's what I was going to say. If I can help, if there's some way,
Yeah.
I know we're not doing it the same way we were both of us trying, but if I can help her try to pull Jody out, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Who has the higher unarmed combat? What is,
I've got 60.
all right, so we'll let Cassie roll this time since we let.
Because was it my strength
Yeah.
is 65%.
Well, so basically,
That means anything.
this is a battle maneuver, so it's unarmed combat, not just strength. But you had to roll under 80, and Cassie, unless you want to hit them with a baseball bat, we can do unarmed combat or dodge for you to escape.
I don't think I would. I don't think I'd be focusing on that.
Probably
I
not.
just trying to swing away. So
35 out of 60.
All right. You need to roll, Jody.
dodge. Yeah. That's 50 over 40.
All right. This time, like as this thing cuts into you, you've taken enough damage that you're a little bit worn out, and they're able to grab you and restrain you. Now, like as you grab her, Cassie, your clothes are immediately covered with blood. You feel like little pieces of these broken shards cutting into you as you grab at the same time, trying to pull her away.
Mm-hmm.
So you begin dragging her out.
And she's there kicking and screaming, going, "Leave me alone!"
Can I do a dex check to see if I hold on to my bat?
No, you can hold it to your bat. She's not trying to disarm you.
No, but I want to see, like, in her fit of sanity, if she would hold on to her bat.
I think you would, just out of it being a struggle.
30 under 40. I like doing that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you dropped it, I would say, "Don't worry, we can get you a new one."
All right. So you begin dragging her toward the door.
Yep.
You get to the door.
With help.
Yeah, with help.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if there's something fun I can do. You see this creature just begin jumping, chasing you down the hall, but kind of jumping along the wall to frame until it is able to jump right to the top of the corner of the door frame, and it's about to reach down and attack you. However, you drag her out the door, and then what do you guys do?
Slam the door so it can't get us.
Yep.
Or is the door inwards or outwards?
It's a hotel, so they open inward.
Mhm.
Damn. Bollocks.
But you can just slam it closed.
I start up the fucking BMW.
I was gonna ask where the beamer was.
Yeah, I start up the BMW, and I'm waiting for these other fucking guys to get here.
So, yeah, you slam the door. What's the closet door where all of this guy's friends were? Was it open or closed?
I think it was
Closed
closed.
it after,
Okay,
we closed
okay.
it after we interrogated him.
Just seeing how evil you guys are.
Oh,
So
we're not bad.
as you run down the hall, you'll hear kind of like this scratching sound against the door and against the walls and clawing.
And a couple of voices go, "What's going on?"
But eventually, this creature will retreat back into a corner. All of you guys will gain 5% in the unnatural skill through experiencing this. And technically, you have succeeded in your mission of finding out that somehow the Lao is allowing this creature, the Hound of Angles, to enter into the world. But your job wasn't to stop it. Your job was just to find out about it. The way I like to end sessions is have people tell how their life has changed. Because believe it or not, sometimes. Sorry, that music is.
Sorry, it's a fucking. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
That music's
Anyway.
ruining my tense moment.
I'm sorry, man. This fucking Facebook, I have too many tabs open. I'm trying to figure out the source.
It would be admin. But what you all will experience is Delta Green is kind of like a drug because the rush of being involved makes you not be able to want to stop being part of the program, but it slowly destroys your sanity, your body, your soul, your mind, your families, and even going on a mission as simple as this does have some ulterior effects. So I'll let, if you took something away from one of your bonds, you could explain how that bond got messed up while you were gone. If you got sliced halfway to death, that could be a factor. If it's just sanity, it could be a fact. For our professor, when you get back to the office, you will get some emails from Human Resources talking about that you had to go to a racial culture training workshop for your outburst in charge of with the CAAA. So, in case you don't want to repeat that, but I'll let you start. That might not be the worst thing you went through.
Yeah, so I get notified of that, and I'm kind of annoyed with it, but I'll go along with it and do it anyway. I'll also make sure, since obviously I didn't get paid, or there was probably a cost to me missing that seminar I was supposed to teach and stuff. I'll make sure to send a bill to Delta Green for that, for recompensation.
They'll cover it.
And I will get now an interest in Tcho-Tcho mysticism and all their crazy shit, because this just reminds me of all the crazy stories I've heard about, their past before.
Nice.
Now, I won't bring it up publicly because I don't want to get in any more trouble with the CAAA, but, yeah. And I'm going to start thinking about getting a gun, although it's difficult living here in Chicago.
Really? Someone else want to go?
Full of monsters?
Well, similarly to what Palmer was talking about, one of Harvey's motivations was finding where weird and fact meet, And considering that, I'll put it this way, you know, the character's not aware of the numbers, but Harvey has a distinct feeling that he could go through something like this twice more and he might hit some sort of sanity breaking point. So, yeah, he's very interested now in finding out more about where weird in fact meet. But by the same token, you know, talking to the Chicago PD guard at the holding cell, he knows that it rattled him, and it rattled him, you know, like nothing had before. So he's drawn to the type of work that he's just experienced, but on the other hand, he knows that eventually the toll that it takes is just going to be too much.
Awesome. Kashi?
Yeah. Well, her motivation was protecting her friends and, you know, obviously being quite professionalism. Those two were absolutely met 100%. And the bond she lost was a psychiatrist. So basically, she had a psychiatrist appointment after another traumatic investigation with NCIS, and she missed that, which means now she has to go back and try and bullshit her way to get another appointment and see the shrink and try and get more sanity back.
Yeah, and you're realizing that because of your Delta Green, you can't share everything with your psychiatrist.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, that's definitely troubling. And Jody.
Jolly. All right, so we fade to a boat on one of the Great Lakes once again. There are several men tied up and gagged, just like how, like in Jolly's other low character moment. Staying on the deck is this man, and Joy knows this man as Julien Blanc, and he is her boss and potentially occasional lover. People outside of those two aren't entirely too sure, and he's just staying around taking a small and he calls Judy up, and Judy walks very slowly up to the main deck, and she is covered like face to arms, like just completely covered by bandages from her encounter with this creature. And she still holds her bat, but she doesn't look, and she looks over to the three men who are tied up, and it's not with anger or disgust or with joy or anything. It's just blank, just a blank stare at them. And LeBlanc keeps telling her, like, Jody, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know, come on. You've been doing this. You know, come on. Show them what you got. And Joey would just give a blank stare at him, and just looking at him, like, she realizes that he's seen some messed up things as well, but he has never seen what she has seen, what has directly happened to her. And she will start walking towards to the men who are tied up, and she'll start thinking, I was almost near the edge of death myself. You know, that thing, when it cut me up, it showed me no mercy. It was just merciless. There was nothing to it besides just a pure hatred of life that want to kill her. And as she's walking, Julie looks onto the still waters of the lake, and she sees her reflection in the ripples of the water. When she sees her face in that reflection, the ripples kind of make it look like her reflection in the glass monster itself. And Blanc just keeps telling her, go ahead, swing away, swing away. They're all rats. They're all vermin. They all mean nothing. They all mean nothing. And he just keeps saying that. They all mean nothing. And Jody stares at them. She stares at her bat. She holds the bat up. She takes a glance over towards Julian. She hoists the bat up higher in the air, and she says beneath her breath, "They mean nothing." And cut to black.
Awesome. Full circle. Yeah, thanks for playing. I hate the fact that I had to cut some of that planning, because if we had more time, like, it would have been awesome to see how you did the infiltration of the apartment and the infiltration of the club. But at the cock ring, we have a rule that if your games go longer than 4 hours, you have to call a doctor. And so we intentionally cut it short. Coming up, I'm hoping to have some Shadow Demon Lord. I'm hoping to have some Ghastly Affair. Maybe eventually I'll get another one of these campaigns, and we could actually have time to do more stuff than just me looking at a clock worriedly. But thanks for playing.